Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Behind the Scenes with ONNY. My name is Tim Savage. I'm the immediate past president of the board of directors, and it's my good pleasure today to be speaking with John Goloski, the chairperson for the Watertown Advisory Committee. Welcome, John.
Hello, Tim.
I wonder if you might tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. I grew up in Baldwinsville, New York, which is near Syracuse, and I was a student at the Crane School of Music. I studied bassoon with Frank Wangler, who was the bassoon professor at the time, and it was actually an assignment of his to go and watch the Orchestra of Northern New York perform whenever they were in Hosmer Hall. So I was very soon acquainted with the orchestra, and as time progressed, I continued to attend concerts as time permitted, and my wife became a member of the orchestra as well. She plays viola.
And what's her name?
Her name is Leah Call.
Oh, very good. Violist.
Violist.
Yeah, wonderful teacher as well.
Absolutely.
In September of 2019, you agreed to chair the Watertown Advisory Committee. Why?
Well, it was, in a sense, my way of contributing to the orchestra in my mind. As a bassoon player and a local musician, it's kind of always on the radar, you know, where can I play bassoon, especially since it's such an odd little instrument. But living where we do, there's so many professional bassoon players and faculty bassoon players and emeritus bassoon players who just come up for the season that really there's not ever an opportunity to play out. So to be able to assist the orchestra in this manner was my way of assisting and my way of being part of the orchestra.
I can assure you you're doing a fantastic job. But the short period of time that we've worked together on the board, I'm just amazed and thankful for your interest and your capabilities.
Well, thank you.
What is the role of committee members?
That's actually a good question. We have been trying to redefine the committee for the past several months. The social distancing and quarantining that has been put into effect since March really made us refocus the lens of what the committee actually is and what it does. The committee really was simply almost a lunch crew for a while at times, and we would discuss the concerts, but there really didn't seem to be a direction. And then between the ideas of Kathy Del Giudice, the executive director of the orchestra, yourself, and several of the other members, we started to really just dig into what is this committee? What is this committee for? What is the goal of the committee? And we are getting closer every month, every meeting to redefining what the committee is and how it relates to ONNY. Currently, the committee members are responsible for assisting with just sponsorship. We are always advocating for the orchestra. We're seeking out new venues for the orchestra. We are trying to find ways to assist with the fundraising for the orchestra. We recently accomplished a thank-a-thon where we called every member who is a donor, a sponsor, an advertiser for the Orchestra of Northern New York in the Watertown area, and just thanked them. We had conversations with nearly 80 different organizations and people, simply just advocating for the Orchestra of Northern New York. As long as we're speaking well of our organization and communicating with the organization and being the liaison between the orchestra and the communities that we live in, the committee is doing its job.
Wonderful. I think that's a wonderful description of the goals, actually, for the committee. Do you have any other goals that you see this committee striving to do? Truly,
just solidifying itself and creating guidelines for how such a committee should exist. If the orchestra should extend to other regions of the North Country, then other committees are feasible. And to have such a guidelines in place, to have such a way of operating would be a benefit.
It would be. That clarity is really a valuable thing, and to be able to transplant it to other communities, as you have said, would be of great value for us to be able to do that. And you're setting a great example. As chair of the Watertown Advisory Committee, you have a seat on the ONNY Board of Directors. What is that experience like?
That was a surprise. If you remember the first board meeting that I attended, I wasn't even aware I was a voting member. Thought I was just a passive observer, and just maybe I'll get to talk for 3 or 4 minutes. And I was very surprised to find out the depth of involvement that I was signing up for when I agreed to be the chairperson. It's been eye-opening. I had no idea just the fiscal responsibility of the board of directors. I had no idea how much the orchestra costs to maintain and run. I had no idea the infrastructure. I had no idea of just how many people were involved. to be honest, it was very eye-opening. I mean, it was unlike anything I'd ever been a part of, and just the levels of the dedication of the people involved, it was amazing. It continues to be amazing. It's I don't know, I don't know, it's hard to put into words. It's truly a complicated structure that just flows and works well, and everybody knows their part, what they're expected to do, and everybody does it.
It is truly a working board in the greatest sense, and in the staff that we have, our music director, Kenneth Andrews, our personnel manager, Jill Rubio, our executive director, Kathy Del Giudice, our librarian, Keith Ziemba. They're all top-notch people and do a great, great job, as you had said. As a music teacher at Indian River Central School in Philadelphia and New York, you have brought groups of 50-plus students to ONNY concerts in Watertown. Why?
There's an orchestra. There's no other reason. One of the responsibilities that we have to our students is to try to show them as many different ways as we can that what we're teaching in band class or orchestra class or choir or general music can be applied. An orchestra comes to Watertown. How could we not take this opportunity? It's a chance for students to see adults playing. It's a chance for students to see secondary education students playing. It's a chance to see their teachers' teachers. It's a chance to see a community come together to enjoy music. Many of them have never been to a classical concert before.
What do they think of it?
It takes a bit of preparation. The idea that these pieces of music are not 3 minutes long, like tunes they hear on the radio, is important. We try to guide their listening. We try to ensure that they know what they're in for. This piece of music may be 15 minutes long. Suggestions for listening? Just allow yourself to daydream. Create a story in your mind. We encourage them to bring crayons or markers or colored pencils and a sketch pad simply to draw what they're hearing. In a day and age where attention spans seem to be 3 minutes long, it is important that we are able to guide their listening in that sense. And truly, some of them have come up with incredible pieces of work.
Wonderful. Well, we thank you for bringing them to the concerts and for preparing them ahead of time so that they gain the most out of that experience.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. I understand the Watertown Advisory Committee is planning 2 fundraising activities to benefit ONNY. Can you tell us about them?
Correct. The first is in commemoration of Valentine's Day, which coincides, hopefully, fingers crossed that things are back to normal, with the first of the Watertown series on February 14th. We are planning to do a Valentine's brunch at a location to be determined. We have a committee that's currently about 5 members strong that are working towards putting out feelers and organizing, and since it is only the end of July, we have time to work, but we are making solid progress to that end. So hopefully members of the Watertown area will be able to contribute to a brunch prior to a concert.
Very good.
All on Valentine's Day.
That's a wonderful idea.
The second is an online cookbook, which was something that has been mulled over and bounced around for several months now, and it's finally coming to fruition. The idea is to create a family-style cookbook between the communities of the Watertown area, the musicians, and the members of the board and the Potsdam community. And for a contribution, you will have access to a cookbook from all the different backgrounds of every contributing member. You might find family recipes from the South, you might find them from Europe, you might find them from Central America. We're still in the process of putting out our feelers and gathering in all of these possible, not only just recipes, but anecdotes and family stories. The idea is to promote the fact that ONNY is a family, and it's a family-based organization, and this is just one more way that we help each other.
Oh, that's wonderful, John. How would a person interested in supporting ONNY become involved in the Watertown Advisory Committee?
Honestly, attend our concerts. Come to the show, come see the orchestra, then stick around. We have had receptions in the past for people who are interested in contributing to the orchestra. We have had people put in contact through events such as the thank-a-thon, and we are actively looking for a few new members. We are in the process of looking for new membership in the sense that we would like to extend ourselves a little bit more into some of the organizations that have directly aided the orchestra in the past. So, simply put, come to our show. Come see a show and come and speak to us.
Easy enough, enjoyable enough. Sounds like
Absolutely.
a good thing. Well, we want to thank you for taking time to chat with us today, John, and thank you for all the great work you're doing with the Watertown Advisory Committee.
Thank you, Tim.